Alright, it's my first time doing it live, so it's going to be a little weird. But anyway, we're going to go through them real quick. I'm going to go through all the guardians, all the viable solo guardians for the most part. There are some that like you could play just for fun and ranked and stuff, but I don't think I'm going to go over those. I'm just going to go over the main ones. So the main ones would be Athena, Braucken, Geb, possibly Ganesh. Not sure if I'll do that. I haven't really played him that much, but I think it's possible that he could be. Geb, Khumba, I guess I could go Khumba, Kuzumbo, Sobek, Terra, Jinkin, Ymir. So I'm not going to go over Ares, Bacchus, Fafnir, Kepri, or Sylvanas because they probably would never be viable in solo. Just because their clear so bad. Alright. Alright, so we're going to start with Athena. So Athena, you'd usually start Mark of the Vanguard. I think I did a video on how to start Guardians, like what to start them is. Could go Boots, but usually this, I'm just going to put this like is what I would do almost every time. So I would go Mark the Vanguard, Boots into health pots, 3 health pots and a multi-pot. I'm pretty sure this is what I did at the LAN against Dignitas, the game that we lost. And then I would go, wait, isn't there one down here? Relic. Okay, so I would go Hog. Should probably just done it right below it, but I would go Hog into, I mean, it completely depends. Thorns maybe on Athena, maybe Bracer if you feel like you need it to like get blown up. If they have any healing, could go Cursed Hog. Sprint's not bad either, and Blink's also not bad. So you can Blink Taunt, and that sounds fun, so I'm just going to put that as a thing. So with Athena, you always go Pen Boots into Breastplate of Valor. Unless you're against a magical, you would go Voidstone, but usually you would go Breastplate of Valor into Voidstone. And then your third pickup would be Hide of the Urchin, if I can type it, which I can. So Hide of the Urchin. So now, I mean, you got a good amount of defenses here. You're doing a lot of damage because of this pen and this pen. Also, Hide of the Urchin's good because you're usually going to be in the middle of team fights, so you're going to be getting assists for things. And you're, as Athena, you want a team fight. You know, get your taunts off to your team. You want to get like almost full cooldown, so Spirit Robe is always an item that you can look to after Hide of the Urchin. Usually go this after, so you can get some health from this and start stacking that up as soon as possible. You could also go Mantle. It's not bad. It's never like a bad item. If you're getting blown up by their magical, go Pestilence, or if they have any relevant healing, look to go Pestilence maybe after Hide of the Urchin. You can go that. Usually like Guardians get blown up by mages. That's usually their biggest problem. Because like a lot of their things like they have to sit still for, like a mural, Jinkin ult, like in the middle of a team fight, you can easily get destroyed by like the mage and stuff. So sometimes you want to go Pestilence. If they have any relevant healing, Wingblade's never bad because she has no slow immunity in her kit. If they have any relevant slows, look to go Wingblade. Wingblade's always a good item anyway. Stone of Binding is an item that I kind of like going. It's cheap, it's a good bridge item, and the passive on it is really good for your taunt and your slow and your one. So you can activate that pretty easily. So yeah, if you're getting blown up, they have like a crit build, go Hide the Nemean. If their hunter has a crit build, definitely go Hide the Nemean. Usually you don't want to go too much health on Guardians. You look to go more CDR so you can get more cooldowns off, more taunts off. So this would probably be a fine build on Athena. So that's Athena. So then we'll go to Braucken. So with Braucken, you could start Breastplate 2. Tier 1 Boots. This is usually what I would start on him. Now that Mark of the Vanguard is nerfed a little bit. And 2 multi-pots. Also, you would start this because usually you aren't getting your blue buff as Braucken, and this is good mana sustain. So then you would go that, and then you would go into Pen Boots. Pen Boots are really good on him because you do so much damage with your abilities. Into Breastplate. Now, something you could mess around with, instead of going Breastplate here, and this is what Deathwalker would do, he goes Warlock Sash right after Boots. So you get the tier 2 right here. You could finish out your Breastplate. Like I said, like obviously if you're building Breastplate right here, you would be finishing it where you started it. But if you don't go Breastplate here, you can go Warlock Sash. And after Warlock Sash, you want to go Hide of the Urchin. So you can start stacking that up. Voidstone is always an item that is good on Braucken. All of your abilities are up close, so you're going to always be having that. And it will help your mage as you like dive their backline. Their mage may be able to follow up. Your mage be able to follow up from behind you, and he'll be getting that Voidstone passive. So that's good. Oh, something I forgot to mention on Athena. Stone of Gaia is always good on these characters because knockups are relevant. This sustain is super relevant because you have no sustain in your kit. on Athena or Braucken, so Stone of Gaia is always a viable option. I would never go Wingblade on Braucken because he has slow immunity in his one, or at least it cleanses slows in his one. So I would never go that on him. But the other like health items like Midgardian are good. Mantle is always an item that you could look to go. Getting blown up and you're trying to get out. You want that passive. And that cooldown is always good. So these are pretty standard. Again, if you're getting blown up by a crit build, go hide the Nemean so you can reflect that damage. And of course, pretty much every item you can build on Braucken, any defensive item at least. Stone of Binding still good on him because of his 2 stuns. So that's always an option. And then of course your relics would be teleport and either blink. Blink's always good, or thorns, because a lot of times they'll just turn on you as Braucken. And if you're like tremoring in the middle of a team fight, you're going to be reflecting a lot of damage. So thorns isn't bad on him. So yeah, this would probably be the standard build on Braucken. Oh, also one thing, if you're like super far ahead, Gem of ISO is sick on Braucken because of his 3. So these are all viable options. I would only go this if you're ahead. It doesn't make you that tanky. CCR on it's okay. The health is important, and also the 90 magical power is pretty good. And the passive, of course. So Gem of ISO is always that power option that you could go. Next up is, by the way, I'm doing this live, so if like anybody has any questions, I can answer them. Next up is Gabrielle. So with Geb has a few viable starts, so you could always just go Mark the Vanguard. That's fine. Mark the Vanguard and Boots 1. Breastplate 2 is good on him because a lot of times you want to go into Breastplate. So Breastplate 2 and Boots. Or something else you could look to go is Breastplate 2 and Boombas. Okay, so now you can only get 1 health pot, but you're going to be wanting to back a lot anyway because you're not going to be getting teleport on Geb because you want to get Swift Wing so you can roll out of base. So this is something that I think Deathwalker did and is like a viable option. But for now, I think you kind of have to have some play around with that, like with your team, like in a competitive game. I would just go this and maybe 2 health pots. Maybe not go this many pots because you just want to back as soon as possible so you can get boots. You'd go pen boots. This makes your ult hit for a lot. It also makes your 2 hit for a ton. So you just want to be going pen boots almost every single time. You could either finish out your breastplate, which you probably would. So I'm just going to put that here. I would finish out my breastplate here, and I would go straight into Voidstone. Since you're not going teleport as your first relic, you could have a choice of going like Blink. That's something that Deathwalker does, and it's also like a viable option because you need to be able to get into team fights to Blink ult. Blink's really good on Geb first item, so sorry about that. I'm going to turn this off real quick so I don't get that going in the middle of the video. So anyway, you would be going Blink, so you can Blink ult in these like early game team fights. Say they're invading, you can Blink ult and maybe hit a couple people, and that can like really turn a fight. So Blink's definitely a good active to start the game with. You used to go Sunder on him, Blink Sunder, because Sunder was really good and it helps you blow up targets. I would still see you could go Sunder. That's still like a viable option. But if not that, I would go something like a team fight active, maybe like Sprint, so you can sprint your team in. Or maybe even like a cursed Onk, like if you Blink ult and then you curse them, if they have any like healing that you could curse, that'd be good. So you can really start the engagement. So back to the real item, sorry, I went to that just because it's different on Geb because you aren't starting teleport. So you'd go Hide of the Urchin there. And then if you can, if they have any relevant knockups, be looking to go Stone of Gaia. That health and regen's important because again, these Guardians don't have any sustain in their kit apart from like a shield, but that's not like, you know, healing sustain. So Stone of Gaia is good if they have knockups or anything like that, poles, whatever. Look to go Stone of Gaia. And then if I were to go Stone of Gaia there, I'd probably run it out with a Mantle Discord. So now I have, with my blue buff, full CDR, a ton of protections, good amount of damage, a lot of survivability, and a lot of sustain. So this would be like a standard build on Geb. But like the other Guardians, if you're getting blown up by some like auto attack warrior like a Nemesis, and also like a, I don't know, a hunter who's building like kin size and pen, go make Guardian Mail. But if they're going crit, like I said, go Hide of the Nemean because you're going to reflect a lot of damage. And then Stone of Binding's an option like a bridge item for Geb because you proc it with so many of your abilities, your 1, your 2, and your ult. So that's always an option. But if you're getting blown up, or if they have any relevant healing, look to go Pestilence. Probably around after your Hide of the Urchin, maybe go Pestilence. instead of Stone of Gaia. And you also have no slow immunity, so Wing Blade's always an option. If you're, say they have a Nemesis Jungle, you might want to go Hide the Urchin, you might want to go Wing Blade here instead of Hide the Urchin, and then go Hide the Urchin here. So that you can, you know, if you get ganked or if you're getting Nemulted in the middle of the team fight, you won't just be slow as shit. So yeah, that was Geb. On to Khumba. Khumba is not that viable in solo, but I might as well add it. I'll do this and then answer some of the questions that people are asking. So with Khumba, I would go Breastplate 2. It's kind of replace the Mark of the Vanguard start just because it's like Breastplate 2 is so efficient for the cost, and so 35 protection, 200 mana, 10 MP5. The MP5 and mana is really what's important because you're usually not getting your blue buff as a Guardian. So then I would go 3 health pots, 2 multi-pots like normal. Okay, so then I would go Pen Boots. Just, it's a common theme with all Guardians. You do so much damage with your ability, so you might as well get that 10 pen that will help you do more, closer to your true damage, to the carries on the enemy team. So finish out your Breastplate. And again, another common theme is going Breastplate into Voidstone because these two items are really efficient together. You get cooldown from this, you get pen from this, and a 70 magical protection plus 40 magical power, which is good. So this is the common theme with these soul laners. And then I would go Hide of the Urchin, of course. I know might be a little repetitive, but this is kind of like the go-to build. It's really good and really efficient, and you get the health from this and the raw protections from both of these, the CDR. So with Khumba, you basically went full CDR, so you should be going Mantle or Spirit Robe next. And then, honestly, you should probably just go Soul Reaver or Ethereal Staff. So, I mean, you're pretty tanky at this point. Khumba's pretty hard to kill anyway. If you have this much CDR, you have full CDR with blue buff, right? You're going to be pretty hard to kill, so in order to stay relevant in the late game, maybe go Soul Reaver or Ethereal so that you'll do a lot of damage with your ult. Because if you Soul Reaver somebody, ult them, they're going to be at like 40%, like a carry, they're going to be at like 40%. And then if somebody just uses any ability to follow up off of, you can win a late game team fight from just killing them, right? So looking at going Soul Reaver. But it's never wrong just to go any like defense items like Midgardian. Midgardian's really tough to deal with on Khumba because he's already so like slippery and stuff that he can slow your attack speed with his 3. He can also slow you with Midgardian now, and you'll just be slowed. So it's like, that's always good. Wingblade isn't a bad item on him at all. Stone of Binding isn't a bad item on him because he has so many ways to proc it. With every ability, I think he can proc it. And of course, if you're getting blown up by the Hunter with a crit build, Nemean, or Pestilence if they have any relevant healing, or if like their mage is like bursting you down a ton. So some like with Warriors, sometimes you want to go Bulwark because you already have so much health in your build, but with Guardians, you aren't building as much health unless you're going like Warlocks, so Bulwark isn't as good. But if you're building Warlocks, like messing around on Guardians, you can definitely go Bulwark. And of course, your actives will be Teleport and Blink. So this would be like pretty much every time because you want to Blink ult somebody in the middle of a team fight to blow them up. So this would be your, I mean, like you could probably mess around with Swiftwing and go with like a different active, maybe like Sunder, so you can really blow somebody up. Blink Sunder, that might be good. But yeah, this would be the standard go-to builds on Khumba. Alright, so who are the best Warrior Guardians in Soul that have good team fights? Alma's the best team fighting warrior for the most part. And for Guardians, Athena's got a really good team fight. So does Jinkin, and so does Geb, but a couple of those you have to get away with. Do you start with a 3 or 2 for clear with Braucken? You start with your 2 on actually, well, you start with your 3 in Soul Lane if you're clearing the wave, but if you're starting your buff, you would start your 2. Late game, I saw Stone of Gaia for Spirit Robe to get the 40 CDR. Maybe. Depends how many knockups they have, because a lot of times that passive can save you. Yo, thanks, Suicidal. Best way to clear wave is Geb. Just use your 2, get as close to the melee as possible, or roll out into the wall until you have CC immunity and roll through the wave into it all. But you got to be careful because sometimes you can get killed by like certain pressure warriors. So, all right, on to the next one. So Kuzumbo, yeah, we said Kuzumbo. I guess I'll do Kuzumbo even though he's the worst guy in the game. So we're gonna go Breastplate 2. So Kuzumbo's a little different. So we go Breastplate 2 and we would go 3 health pots. and 2 multi-pots. But instead of, we would go pen boots, so we can at least do some damage. Instead of going breastplate here, I would go hide the Nemean. So I go hide the Nemean here into void stone. So now we're doing a good amount of damage. And remember that your 2 can be mitigated by magical defense. So this pen is kind of relevant. So that's good. And to hide the urchin. So the only difference would be we would go Nemean right here. So but we still want cooldown, so we'd go Mantle or Spirit Robe next. Maybe Spirit Robe, probably Mantle though. We'd go Mantle here or Spirit Robe. So we get a little bit of CDR. Now we have 20 with blue buff, so that's not bad. Same as breastplate. And then like a last item, we could go like a Stone of Gaia, maybe, or maybe like maybe like a, well, no, I already have an Eye of the Nemean. What am I doing? Maybe like a Midgardian Mail, so we can slow the hunters in the team fight. But the thing about Midgardian Mail is you want them to do more DPS to you, right? So it's not the best item on him, but it's still like relevant. Like I know it's like, that's like best case scenario. You want them to do extra damage to you because you can reflect it with your hide and your 2 and your, if you buy thorns, which you should. So, but that's like best case scenario. Usually they'll just blow you up anyway. So that's not bad on him. And also if you're getting blown up by their magical damage dealers, just go into a pestilence almost every time. Bulwark, if you have enough health that you can get that shield, will be relevant. So yeah, for relics, thorns every time. Well, start the game with TP, right? We start the game with TP, but we would be going thorns every time as our second relic, because that will help you supplement your 2 and you'll be reflecting so much damage. Sometimes you can make people just burst themselves down if you use your 2 and your thorns and they reflect higher than Nemean. They'll literally just kill themselves on you. So that would be the build on Khumba. And for Sobek, so with Sobek, starting breastplate as well. We're never getting our blue buff as Sobek because we get no pressure whatsoever. The wave. We go 3 pots, 2 multi-pots. We would go into pen boots. I could see you going cooldown boots. It depends. Sometimes you might want to go cooldown boots if you can't afford it and you just really need it back. Just go for cooldown boots. Or if you feel like you're going to be staying in the lane for a while and you're still getting your blue buff invaded, maybe just go cooldown boots, right? But usually you would go pen boots so your ult hits for a ton. Into breastplate. So if you go cooldown boots, breastplate, and you have your blue buff, you have full CR, which is kind of crazy. But again, you regen mana with your ult, so pen boots is usually the go-to. So now Void Stone. Sound like a broken record, but Void Stone makes your ult even hit harder. His ult is like one of the hardest hitting ults in the game. It hits for so much. So looking at going that. Hide of the Urchin, of course. Oh shit. Yo, thanks Evan for the $10 donation. Sorry I didn't show up. I have it off because I'm trying to make a video right now, but I appreciate it. Thank you for the $10. He says, keep up the good work, bro. I will. Thanks, man. So now where was I? Let's see. Okay, so we go Hide of the Urchin, 4th. We can go Mantle, Stone of Gaia again. Either one here. Both are good. Both are... Stone of Gaia is more situational than Mantle. Mantle's always a good item, but Stone of Gaia you can look to go there. And if you feel like you're already tanky enough, you can go a Soul Reaver last item maybe. Soul Reaver is really good on Sobek. Make sure ult hit hard if you hit at the beginning of a team fight to ult like initiate a fight, or if you just 3 in a fight and get the Soul Reaver proc and then go into your ult, you can one-shot somebody. So that's a good item that you could look into going. And of course, Nemean, Midgardian, and Pestilence are never bad items. So always look to be going these if you can, or if you need to. And we'd be going Teleport, of course. It's making a noise, but it's not showing up, I don't think. So sorry about that. Feels bad. So we go Teleport, and then for our second active, we could go Sprint. Sprint's not bad on Sobek, so you sprint before you ult, so you can get to the back line really easily. Bracer's not bad on him, especially with his, if you build a lot of CDR, your cooldowns can come up really fast. And Thorns isn't bad, because sometimes you'll be ulting in the middle of a team fight. You can pop your Thorns if they're trying to focus you, and then they can't do damage to you. They can't peel for themselves, and your ult's gonna hit no matter what, unless they just hit. So Thorns isn't bad. So this is how you build Sobek. Yeah, I don't know, Jinkin. I'm sorry. Gonna have to talk to Harry's about that. Can I get your opinion on my Osiris build? Yeah, for sure. Just let me see it. Alright, so now to Terra. Okay, so Terra I've been messing around with lately, and I've been going Boombas, March of the Vanguard, and Hog. So I would start my buff with Hog, or start my buff with my jungler. Wait, it's not called Hog, it's called Hand of the Gods. Start my buff, the speed with my jungler, then go to blue, and then we can Hog blue, and we'll hit level 2. So that's not bad. If I do that, I would go 3 pots. 2 health pot, or 2 multi pots. The reason I would go Hog, you don't really need TP to be relevant in a team fight. You can just ult. But if I need to, I would go teleport second. So I would go that. I would go pen boots, of course, because again, Terra does a lot of damage with their abilities. Into breastplate so you can get cooldown, so you can get more ults off. That's super important. Instead of going Height of the or Voidstone here, I have been going Height of the Urchin. You could just go Voidstone here. It's honestly just preference. If you want to do more damage, just go Voidstone here. But I've been going Height of the Urchin there lately. So yeah, that's not bad. And then for like a 6th, if you're like pretty far ahead in your Terra, you're already pretty tanky, you can go Gem of Iso. Gem of Iso is pretty good on her. But if not, just go into more CDR, more defense. So Mantle's not bad, or Spirit Robe. And now you're going to be doing so much damage just with these two things and your low cooldown, because you have so much CDR built that you just need to go more defense. High Anemian's not bad. Pestilence isn't bad, and Midgardian is also not bad. So Midgardian, Nemean, and Pestilence are the 3 items that you could go just every game, and it wouldn't be a problem. But they are still situational, and you know, look to go them differently. Also, another armor or item that you could go is Emperor's Armor. This is on anybody. If you're just trying to siege, you guys are a little bit far ahead, and you're trying to siege. Grab Emperor's Armor if you have enough gold for it. It's only 2,000 gold, so that you guys can siege easier. It's not a bad item. I should have mentioned that on everybody, but it would just get repetitive, so I'm just going to put that here. Consider going Emperor's Armor if you guys are pushing and you're a little bit ahead. And, of course, Stone Guy is never bad on pretty much anybody, so this will probably be the build on her. These 2 items will make you do a ton of damage, so don't worry about building too much damage. And then if I have to go teleport second because I can't get to fights in time, then I'll just go teleport here. If not, I would go sprint so that you can sprint in your Terra ult, or just use it after your Terra ult, so you guys are constantly moving around the map fast. And what else could we go? I guess that would be kind of the go-to. If they're healing too much, maybe, and you're diving the backline a lot, maybe go for a Curse Donk. So yeah, that's how you build Terra. So next up, we have Jinkin. Okay, let me answer a couple questions real quick. Okay, so the build is Warrior Tab, Mystical Mail, Urchin, Shogun, Situational Item, Damage Item. That's a really good build. Suicidal, there's nothing wrong with that build. Maybe where you say Suicidal, Suicidal, that's your name, sorry. Situational Item / Damage Item. Instead of just it being situational, just almost always go Mantle, or not Mantle, Masamune there. That's always a fine item to go there. That's a fine build though. Okay, alright, back to the Jinkin. Breastplate, tier 2, into tier 1 boots, and 3 pots, just like everybody else. Oh shoot. 2 multi-pots. So Jinkin's a little different with boots. I go cooldown boots on him, get more ones off. Your 1 does percentage damage, so the more you get off of it, the better. Also, it just allows you to stay out for so long because of the 250 mana, extra mana on this. That gives you like 5 extra casts, right? Well, not exactly 5 extra casts, maybe like 3 or 4, but early game, it'll give you 5 extra more casts. Considering the MP5 you already have on this, it should give you that much. So anyway, you go full cooldown, which means this 2 plus your blue buffs, and now you have full cooldown. Straight into Voidstone. You want to do some extra damage with your percentage on your 1, so you want that pen on your Voidstone. Height of the Urchin. This is the go-to build on everybody, basically, except for the cooldown boots, right? That's a little bit different. Wingblade isn't bad on Jinkin because, you know, no slow immunity in your kit. You can catch up to people easier with your ult. So, like, say you want Wingblade because you want to be able to catch up to people with your ult. This will give you a little bit more movement speed, so it's not bad. You could go more cooldown. It's not bad. I mean, you'll overcap if you have your blue buff, but it's like it's not a big deal. This item is just amazing on its own. Stone of Gaia is always an item you can look to going. Mid Guardian's really good on Jinkin because you make it so people do less damage with their autos if you hit them with your one, right? They do less damage with that. Also, if they're hitting you with their autos, when you have their one applied to them, they'll be getting slowed and their attacks will be slowed. So they'll be doing negative damage to you. Their hunters will, at least if you hit them with your one. I had Neiman's, not really that great on him because you're making them do less damage with their autos anyway with your one. So like, why would you want to reflect less damage, if that makes sense? So Pestilence, always an item you can go on him. Did I put, oh shit, I messed that up. Well, I guess that's it. I was gonna say maybe go Stone of Gaia, but I think I already put it in there. So, and the relics of course would be TP and maybe Thorns, probably Thorns on Jinkin because you're diving backline so hard. Probably Thorns or maybe even a Heavenly, so you can Heavenly before your ult so you can catch people in the spin. So anyway, now on to the last person, which is Ymir. So we're going Breastplate 2. Honestly though, you could go Breastplate 2, but with Ymir, he actually is like one of the only Guardians that can get pressure. I would just go Mark the Vanguard and go Health Chalice, whatever it is. Health Chalice and 2 multi-pots. So the reason I'm saying you could go Mark the Vanguard on Ymir because you get pressure is that you would be able to get your blue buff, so you don't need the mana sustain from Breastplate 2. So, and also you just want boots as soon as possible because you can actually kill people pretty easily with pen boots. Like you can kill warriors easily. So we would go pen boots like I just mentioned. Breastplate or Voidstone if you're against a Guardian. I didn't say that for any of the Guardians, but I think that's self-explanatory because I said it at the beginning. So we go into Voidstone. At this point, you're doing so much damage. If you're team fighting, you're going to be walling people off and ulting and hitting for so much. So Ymir's one of the only Guardians that can actually like team fight early, basically. So that's good. If I went that there, I would go Hide the Urchin here. Maybe go Wingblade instead of Hide the Urchin here. Depends on how many slows they have. Wingblade's really good on Ymir. He gets more autos off with his Frostbite passive, so that's good. Maybe go Wingblade. Honestly, I wouldn't even be wrong. I wouldn't even be mad if it wouldn't even be wrong if you just went Shogun's Kasuri because that 25% attack speed on the passive is going to make your autos hit. You're going to be hitting a lot more autos, and it's going to be hitting pretty hard with your Frostbite passive. So Shogun's isn't a bad item on him. A lot of times you are getting blown up, so just look to go Mantle for more defense. It's really easy for mages to hit you because you're so immobile, so maybe go just Pestilence. Look to go that. And Stone of Binding isn't bad on him. Extra pen for his autos after he uses CC, and he uses, I mean, he's got a slow on his 2, a slow on his ult, and his freeze, so that he can proc that pretty easily. Stone of Gaia is not bad on him. And also, if you just want to go extra damage, where is it? You could always just honestly go Soul Reaver or Ethereal, because those aren't bad on Ymir. And part of the reason he's such a good Guardian is because he does a lot of damage. So this will probably be the build on him. This isn't bad. Wingblade's kind of core on him though, because he's really immobile and it gets his autos off, get extra autos off because of the 10% attack speed. So then I would go Teleport. Always go Teleport on him, and almost every single time I would go Blink. If I weren't to go Blink for whatever reason, I might just go like Sunder so I can blow someone up. But usually, almost every time I would Blink so I can blink into their backline. And yeah, so that would be that. So that's how you build all the Guardians. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll answer some questions if anybody has any. Okay. You say Emperor is good when you're ahead, but do you think it's good from behind when your team has an advantage and they're pushing? Well, it's like fine from behind because yeah, if they're pushing, you want your Phoenixes to do more, your towers to do more, but usually the support would get it in that case. So you would want to do that. When do I build shifters on these Guardians? Honestly, Zach, shifters is so OP, I wouldn't be surprised if you could build it on Guardians. XD. What you mean? The build is Warlocks, Pen Boots, Voidstone, Dynasty Blade, Poly Mantle. I mean, that's not like that bad of a build. You're gonna get blown up pretty easily. And also, yeah, you just need more defense, honestly. Also, some of those items are inefficient on that god. Like Warlocks isn't probably that good on Ymir. And yeah, so that'll be it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.